All right. All right, what's going on, everybody? Oh, finally. What's going on, Ava? Good to see you in the chat. The first person to comment always wins the first game. And tonight, that is Ava. Great to see you. We have got the Magnus with us to do some food training. I have his food bowl. Oh, here it is. All right. The light was messing with me. All right, so Ava, these first set of Magnus tricks are going out to you. He's the Magnus. Magnus. All right, if you have any questions, put them in the chat. I brought out the slow feeders, so it's a little bit easier to read the chat in between doing commands. The first game is going to be broccoli emoji. The first shout out is going to broccoli emoji. All right, thank you for your kind words, Pokemon. If you have any questions, put them in the chat. We'll do our best to get to them. We're super happy to be training with you. If you don't know, we went live earlier and did bite work with Ulrich. Now we're doing food training with Magnus. If you haven't seen our newest video that we just put out, all about Ulrich, it's on our channel. Probably the best video we've ever produced. Took us 2 months to make, and unfortunately, it's kind of flopped. But go check that out. It tells you everything you could ever want to know about the poop pup. All right, what's going on, Peyton? Great to see you, Peyton. This one is going out to you. See, this is why we're using the slow feeder. We are ready to do it, and he has not eaten it all. Let's do some focused healing now, where he heals by looking up at me. He can stay with me on the leg, on the left side. He can also heal, focused healing on the right side. Pivot it with me. And you see how he is switching sides. Again, he can stay with me. And he can also, we got a little miscommunication. He can even center heal. Here, come into a front. And another center heal, because he's Magnus. He's just Magnus. All right, the next game is going to be Sunshine Emoji. Thank you so much for my moderator in the chat. Hope you're having a great day. All right, so let's see if we have any questions that I missed in the chat. How long did it take to train him? Well, he is 2.5 years old, and I've been training him since he was like 3 or 4 months old. So the training never stops. Just like being a pro athlete, an NBA player could stop practicing basketball for a year and still mop the floor with basically anybody except for another NBA player. They'd step in a game and they would just get handled. The same goes for high-level training. I could stop training one of my dogs today, and in a year, he's still gonna have better training than the average pet dog, but he would not be anywhere near what he used to be. All right, here we go. The winner of the next game is Bronwyn Shell. Bronwyn Shell, this one is going out to you. We're gonna have Magnus here, come into a front, and then we're gonna have him bark at me. Here. He's trying to anticipate. He thinks I'm trying to have him switch barking targets. That's why we were doing it without. I only really ever put food in a bowl and then walk away and have him bark at me to switch barking targets for the titles. And I realized that, and I'm trying to get away from that. So a lot of what we're doing is just doing it. That my phone just started ringing. All right. He is eating his dinner tonight. That is what he is snacking on. All right, the next game is going to be, let's go with black heart emoji. Black heart emoji. Hopefully the live didn't cut out there. I got a phone call. My phone's been blown up. I need to put it on do not disturb or something so that I don't get phone calls during the live. All right. Let's see if we have any other questions. Hold on. This is just weird. So, yeah, please don't say anything weird or one of my mods is just gonna block you. How do the pups do around cats and other small animals? Your dog's training videos are my favorite. I really like when we're training them around about and they've been around like cats or small animals in public. I don't have any issues. I don't have any of those here on the property, so I can't really say what it's like for them to live with them. All right, here we go. The winner of the next game is going to be Tanish. What's going on, Tanish? This one's going out to you. So we did some focused healing a second ago. We did left, right, and center. Now let's do some contact healing. The different beat. Focused healing is what you would use in more of a sports setting. It's great for obedience, but in a real life or a protection setting, we're going to use contact healing so that he can stay locked onto this target. And yet I can keep my hands free. I can look up at you. He can stay locked on what he needs to stay locked on. If I want to have him bark at it, keep it up. Couché. He can still do commands, upo, even though he's staying locked onto the target. Keep it up. And he's Magnala. He's just some kind of Magnala. All right. Where do I lose the chat? Here we go. Has he ever bitten anyone without command? Magna is a sweet boy. All right. The languages that we are using are a combination of English, French, German. The main things about creating command words is that you don't want them to be sounds or words that you're going to use in everyday life. So even words that are in English that are my commands, I say them differently than I would in like just everyday speech. The other main thing is that you want to make sure that your command words do not sound different. They sound different. You don't want one to be blop and another to be pop because the dog is going to get confused. All right. Oh yeah, we need another emoji game. The next emoji game is going to be 4-leaf clover followed by the number 4 emoji. 4-leaf clover followed by the number 4 emoji. He's the Magnala. And you'll notice as we're doing this training, we are keeping his reward schedule random. There I gave him one command and he got the reward. When we were doing our focused healing, I had him do multiple sides and we did, maybe like a minute, or I don't know how long that was, but about 60 seconds without a reward. So always keeping those reward schedules random so he doesn't know quite what it's gonna take to get him the reward. All right. Here's a great question. Wally says, we just got a 12-week-old puppy. Do you recommend boarding training for puppies or are they a scam? I personally think most boarding programs are an absolute scam. You want to be able to build a relationship with your dog. A lot of training, especially with the puppy, is about building trust, about building a relationship, and that can't be done if the puppy is off with somebody else. Just simple stuff like this. Giving my dogs handfuls of food. If it was a young puppy, I would have him going around in circles. I might have him follow my hand a little bit, give him the food, do 60 seconds of that, and that is a training session. And so you can only teach a dog so much without compulsion in a small amount of time. That's the other issue. A lot of these places that are doing boarding trains are using an immense amount of compulsion on the dog to force them into complying instead of using positive reinforcement, which takes time but builds a stronger bond. All right, so the winner of the next game, I don't know if this is the first one. My chat's moving quickly. It looks like Ben and Bailey. Ben and Bailey is the winner. Ben and Bailey. So we had him do contact healing and focused healing. Now we're going to have him switch between the two. So you'll notice that he is looking at the bowl. Now he's looking at me, and he is locked onto me. Had him lock onto the bowl, and then boom, he gets to have it. All right, he's just some kind of Magna. Here's a great question. Somebody asked, why don't I offer training? Well, I am already working like 70 to 80 hours a week. I've had 3 days off in 5 years, and that was to go and get my elderly father from Nashville, Tennessee, and bring him back to Oregon. So I just simply do not have time. Also, we are gonna have our first litter in my breeding program this fall, and when I have like 8 puppies here as well, I most certainly will not have time to train other people's dogs. All right, here we go. The winner, let's see, the next game is going to be any kind of moon emoji. We did a sunshine, let's do moon. Let me see if we have any other questions to answer. How much money did it take to train your dogs? Well, seeing as I trained them all, none. I guess cost of time and food. All right, so let's see here. Do we have any other questions? Oh, I think I've answered that one. Has anyone, all right, we got a winner of the emoji game, and it is Andrew Sains. Andrew, this one's going out to you, Andrew. We're gonna have him do a center. Just Marmalade. That's another thing I've been making sure is that I don't want him to anticipate on me as we're walking back. I don't want him thinking that I'm about to get him to pop that head up into a focused heel. For a working dog, that default, I'd rather have him a little bit more focused on that target than on me. All right, the next game is going to be green apple emoji. The next shout out is green apple emoji. All right, so, like I said, if you bring home a new puppy, the most important thing you can do is to build a relationship with it, to make sure that the puppy knows that when it's around you, good things are gonna happen. I think especially for young puppies, crate training is a must because you can't keep an eye on a puppy all day long, and I don't wanna set a puppy up for failure by, puppies are supposed to get into stuff, they're supposed to test boundaries, and so it's really great when I can have a puppy who is comfortable with being in a crate. I bring him out of the crate, we do a whole bunch of fun stuff, they go up because they're super tired, and like I said, the very first session, let's see here, let's call out the emoji game. All right, so Vukasnin Janjic, hopefully I said that one right, Vukasnin, hope you're having a great day. So if I have a brand new puppy, our session might look like this. I might first see, can this puppy take food out of my hand? Because not every puppy can take food out of a person's hand. It's weird for them at first. And if I know they can take food, I might see, will the puppy push into my hand? And will they follow my hand? Will he follow it around? And then I will slowly kind of build that up so he is pushing into my hand. You see how he's trying to get it. At first, I'm not worried about any manners. I want him to get it. Because I want to build that excitement. And once I have him moving around and I can put him in circles, that luring is what allows me to move him around, because wherever his head goes, his body will follow. And that luring, I can shape all of my positions into a down, a sit, a down, a stand, a sit, a stand, all just by manipulating his head. And he's Magnus. All right, the next game, we got enough kibble to do, let's say 2 more games. The second, don't die on me now. The second to last game is gonna be the number 2 emoji. Number 2 emoji. Please don't die on me, Magnus. Magnala. That's his nickname. He has kind of a few. His name is Magnus, but his nickname is the Magnala. All right, we have another question. I don't have it. So Kikono asked about service dog training. I don't have any experience training service animals, so I would have to learn, all about that. I mean, I'm certain that I could do it, but that's not where my expertise lies. It's not where my passion really is. All right. Let's see, here we go. The winner is Junk Jane Doe. Junk Jane Doe. Finally, Goiche is in the house. Finally, we've got a Goichache. Drunk Jane Doe is the winner. He's getting tired. Whoa. Boom. Took him from that focus to the contact heel and then boom, up into the focus heel for just a few steps. I can tell Magnus is getting tired, so we are gonna just do one last game, give him the kind of jackpot of the rest of the kibble that I have in the pockets. The second, or the very last game is going to be any kind of fish emoji. Any kind of fish emoji. We have any more questions? So it depends on, there's like different Malinois shed, different levels. Magnus is like, he's damn near hypoallergenic. He like hardly sheds at all. Ulrich probably sheds the most out of my mouths, whereas Alexandra is in the middle. All right, looks like the winner is, wait, is that a fish or is that Cookie Monster? I think that's a fish. Chris Shaw. So, like I said, he's getting tired, and always remember that quality is way more important than quantity when it comes to training. Cushion. Upo. Ibao. Magnala. Just waited for a good bark. You could tell he's kind of getting tired. Magnala. Thank you so much for joining us on our live. We will be live again soon. And yeah. Bye. Magnala.